This is WWE Wrestling Legend Hall of Famer Tito Santana.
This is WWE NXT Superstar Lexis King.
And you are listening to the Source Wrestling Podcast. Arriba!
And you're listening to the Source Wrestling Podcast. Long live Lexis King.
You're looking at the best there
Austin
is.
316.
What do you guys want to talk about? I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. I'm the best. I'm the best in the world.
Let me talk to you. Yeah.
You will rest
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. This is episode 41 of the Source WWE AEW All Things Wrestling Podcast with Joe
and
Mike.
Yeah.
And we are going to speak to you today on This Week in Wrestling. It has been an absolutely crazy week in the world of professional wrestling.
We're going all the way back to last Friday night.
Absolutely. We're going to start the conversation tonight with last week's SmackDown, and we will end it all the way at AEW Dynamite from this past Wednesday. Strap in, guys. It's the Source Wrestling Podcast, and let us talk to you. Yeah.
Let us talk to you indeed. We're going to go over SmackDown first. I believe the date of this SmackDown was 5/24.
Ooh, let's see. Yep, 5/24/24.
What a guess. What
good
a
guess.
You heard it first here on the Source.
Absolutely.
Mike's guessing right.
We're
Mike's
guessing.
Good.
We're guessing.
Okay, so SmackDown 5/24/2004, which would be last
2004.
Friday. 2024. I meant.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did I misspeak?
Holy hell, dude.
Whatever. We're raw here.
I don't want to be back
okay?
in high school, man.
Yeah. So, first matchup, we have Bianca Belair versus Nia Jackson. One of those Queen of the Ring semifinal.
Yes,
we call
semifinal.
It you can call it a
Qualifying
SmackDown
match
final
as well
for
for
the
the
SmackDown
finals,
side
yeah.
of it. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be.
Yes.
Keep in mind, this is the SmackDown before King of the Ring. You know, there's not going to be much drama going on before the big.
No, yeah, it's the go-home show, so you got to have some good stuff. But
so Nia Jax wins this with the Annihilator.
oh, and did she ever annihilate
did she
her?
Ever. Eliminating Bianca Belair.
Yep, she's
from
done.
The Queen of the Ring. Nia Jax comes out, on top, literally.
Thought
And
it was mommy that was always on
it's
top.
obviously her moving on to
Yeah.
tomorrow for the King of the Ring.
King and Queen of the Ring, because that is a
and
Queen of the Ring
yeah.
final
Equality.
right there.
I love it. Now, next up, we have LA Knight and the Street Profits versus
Yeah.
Carmelo Hayes and A-Town Down Under.
Yeah, those pesky tag team champions.
Yeah. Now, LA Knight with the BFT and then Montez Ford for the Frog Splash for
Let
the
him talk to
1-2
ya.
Thrizzle. That's a cool little match. You know, there's obviously filler matches before the pay-per-view.
Absolutely. LA Knight didn't have a King of the
Yeah.
Ring match, so we got to put him out there in front of the Saudi Arabian crowd. He got a massive ovation from them. So, yeah, it was good to see him drop the old BFT. Yeah.
That was nice. Next up, we had Bayley versus Chelsea Green. Bayley wins with the Rose Plant. Obviously,
Chelsea
she's got to
Green.
defend that title. She's got to stay active. So this is a nice little filler match before the pay-per-view.
Yeah, and props to Chelsea Green for getting a match in Saudi Arabia. You know, she went from not on the card every week to absolutely killing it. So,
Yeah, she's been doing better, but I think, I don't know, I feel inevitably she may go down to NXT again.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt.
We'll see in the next few months where she goes with this, honestly.
For sure.
Now we have another King of the Ring semifinal.
Oh, the main event match.
Randy Orton versus Tama Tonga.
The three most
And
dangerous letters in
let's just say
professional
there was a lot of
wrestling.
interference in this match, but I believe that the ref ordered them backstage.
Yeah, they were ejected, if you will.
which equalized the match. We get an RKO for the 1-2-3.
As it should be. Yeah.
And he moves on.
He's moving on to the final.
to the
So he's
finals.
going against Gunther, a literal dream
So now
match.
you know. Yeah, now you know that Nia Jax will be going against Lyra Valkyria.
Yes.
And you know that Randy Orton will be going against Tama Tonga against Gunther.
The Ring
at,
General.
King of the Ring tomorrow, which is we're going to cover today.
Yes.
But technically this was tomorrow compared to this SmackDown
at this
Not
point
to
in time.
confuse
Yes.
everybody terribly.
So pretty good episode, pretty good go home
we'll
show.
Move on to Collision now. That'd
King
be
of Queen of the
that'd
Ring.
be, hold on, that'd be 525.
Yes, 5/25/24
2024.
AEW Collision. This is the go home show for Double or Nothing. So
Mm-hmm.
you know it was a multi PLE / pay per view.
And it's funny because
weekend.
it's a go home show, but they still overstacked it.
Of course,
There's way
yeah,
too many
right.
matches.
You got to compete with WWE, so you know you
They
have
don't
to.
compete by doing that. They need more storylines.
They do.
It's crazy.
They do.
Yeah.
So we start off AEW Collision with Lance Archer and the Righteous versus Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia, and Hiroshi Tanahashi.
The Righteous is kind of cool. It's that guy
they
that
are
comes
cool.
out snapping,
Yeah,
right?
it's
I've
Vincent
seen him
Marseglia,
on
yes.
some independent league cards, too.
Yep. Yep, I've actually seen him wrestle live in Rhode Island. Vinny Marseglia, now known as Vincent from the Righteous, always been a really good talent. Unfortunately, they come up short. Tanahashi with the high fly flow for the win. Up next, it is the Lucha Bros versus the Guns. The Guns have been on fire lately, but they go down to the Lucha Bros tonight with a double fear factor, which is Penta El Zero Mieto's finishing move. They hit it and get the win on the Guns. So, you know, that's a credible win for the Lucha Bros there. We have Kyle O'Reilly continuing his warpath against a local jobber tonight by the name of Kevin Matthews. Kyle O'Reilly submits him with the cross arm breaker submission. And now to build up this steel cage match at Double or Nothing, we had the House of Black versus the Acclaimed versus the Gates of Agony versus the Infantry in this four-way match. Buddy Matthews with the Bravo to pick up the win for the House of Black, so they gain momentum going into Double or Nothing. Next, we had Mariah May versus Layla Hirsch. Mariah May, once again, can do no wrong. She wins with the V trigger.
She's great.
It's 1, 2, 3. Yep,
The future
she is.
of
She
NXT.
definitely is. Her and Timeless Tony Storm will meet eventually. I think we will meet again. Bryan Danielson now in the top guys, the Living Legends.
Main event.
FTR versus Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Satnam
I love how they
Singh.
just sprinkle Jeff Jarrett
I know,
in there
it's like
randomly.
he does.
It's
It's like he's
we'll
already
do a little Jeff
dead.
Jarrett today.
It's like he's already dead, but he doesn't
I was
know
just
enough
saying
to
to
lay
Joe
down.
earlier, these are like every AEW like show is like a house card.
Yeah, it's like a live
It's
event,
little
like a house
bit of this,
show.
A little bit of that. Like who
Right.
can we sprinkle together?
Let's put
it's like
Jeff
me
Jarrett
running
in there.
WWE My GM mode.
Yeah,
It's
literally.
like who am I going to put together
Literally.
this week?
Bryan Danielson and FTR sounds good. Yeah,
Yeah.
how could they lose? And they don't. Bryan Danielson with the Busaiku knee
I mean,
takes
was
the
someone
victory.
named Satnam Singh on their team? I don't know.
Satnam Singh is this 7'5" or something monster.
Yeah,
Absolute
he is.
monster.
Yeah, he is.
And he
But
can
he's
get
dumb as rocks.
dumb as a box of rocks, just like they all are. The Great Khali. What was it?
Big Show.
The Big Show. Yeah.
the Giant.
Yeah. Also, you had Giant Gonzalez, who was probably the dumbest
Giant
one of them all.
Gonzalez.
You know, but I still got his WWF Hasbro action figure because I have to complete the set. Anywho, Busaiku knee. Collision goes off the air. That is the build up to the big matches at Double or Nothing.
We got
here.
a couple of pay-per-views to cover now.
Yes, we do.
We got the WWE King of the Mother Effing Ring.
Yep, King and Queen of the Ring.
King and the Queen. I'm
PLE,
sorry. I keep
live
forgetting.
on
I'm sorry,
PCAT.
ladies.
It's all right. It happens.
All right,
yes.
first up we have Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch.
The Revenge Tour.
And obviously, if you're a wrestling fan, you know exactly how that went down.
Oh, my
Dominic
God.
came out to the side of the ring with the distraction. Liv wins with her Oblivion for the 1-2-3. Steals the WWE Women's Championship.
Steals it right out of her hands.
Right out of her hands.
And we love it.
And
It's
Becky
the Liv
looks kind
Morgan
of sad in the ring,
Revenge
but
Tour.
she says that she's going to be activating her rematch clause for
Oh, yeah.
Raw. So we're excited about that.
Absolutely.
Chad Gable versus Sami Zayn versus Bronson Reed is
Big
next.
Bronson
Some
Reed.
drama in this one.
Yep.
Basically,
You had Otis out there.
was,
he was torn. He didn't know what to do.
very torn. He was lining up to hit, Sami Zayn while Gable was holding him lined up, and then finally he goes to do it.
He moves.
Sami Zayn ducks. He hits, knocks out Gable, allowing Sami Zayn to hit the haluva kick
on
to Bronson Reed
and it's
for
over.
the 1-2 thrizzle.
Retains the Intercontinental Champion
Yep.
Chisel.
which is great. It's a
Absolutely.
little run for him. I like
Yep.
it's not going to last too long.
Yeah,
but
I mean, he did beat Gunther, so he's going to keep it a little while.
He's got to, it's
Can't lose it already.
I could see maybe SummerSlam him dropping the title.
Oh, yeah, for sure. To Chad Gable.
Yeah, for sure.
He's got to be the next champion.
I'd say, Gable has to. I think, honestly, if we're. What brand is LA Knight on now? SmackDown?
LA Knight is a SmackDown
okay,
talent.
so
yeah.
I think, personally, I think they give it to Gable next. And
I agree.
Then they
I
figure
really-
out a way to feud Jey Uso and Gable and give
it to Jay because he deserves it too.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about LA Knight, I think it's going to be the U.S. title for him. That's going to be his first. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. Up next, we have the the Queen of the Ring final.
Yep, Nia Jax versus
Lyra
Valkyria. And it's Lyra Valkyria trying to get a power bomb off the corner of the ropes. I
She was
remember
trying
vaguely.
from that turnbuckle position. Yeah.
It gets exhausted, falls down. Nia Jax falls down right on top of her with
My
the
God.
Annihilator by
It was
accident. For the
brutal.
1, 2, 3, she's the queen. She celebrates.
Yes, she's got the crown on.
Yes.
You know, Paul Triple H
It's
Levesque
not
is
as
out there to
extravagant
present
as it
it.
wasn't. There's no throne or any of that stuff.
No, because I
but-
think they're trying to get away from this whole king gimmick.
Well, that's
you know.
great. I'm glad they're
Yeah.
not doing the king gimmick.
Same.
And
Never
honestly,
works
above
unless
and
you're
beyond
King
that,
Booker.
I'm glad that they get a title shot now because
Yes,
I think
that's
Nia
awesome.
Jax
She
it
deserves
just
the
answers
title
some
shot.
questions seeing her win that.
100%.
Honestly, for me, and next we have Gunther versus Randy Orton. What a hard fought
Oh, my
battle!
God. Both of
Gunther
those
ends
guys.
up with a quick roll up for 3. So this was not a match that was easily won by anybody.
No.
RKO's and power bombs
Yes.
all over the place.
Submissions, and it also it had some drama to it because
Yeah.
Randy Orton's shoulders weren't completely down.
Yes,
for the
yes.
3. But needless to say, it's
with
Gunther.
a quick roll up.
Yeah,
That's how
quick
you know
roll-up.
that it wasn't easy for Gunther. Is he had a quick roll up?
Yeah, he didn't use one of these luxury moves that he likes
Gunther
to use.
becomes the king of the ring.
Yep,
He
the king
now-
of the ring general.
Yep, he is now going to get a title shot. He says against
World heavyweight champion Damian
yep.
Priest,
Well,
if he still
maybe,
has it.
Maybe Drew McIntyre. We're not sure. All I know
He
is
did
that
pray for this.
It's interesting because I did not think this soon Gunther would be going for the world
But
title.
here it is. Yep, they've thrown him
so
right
I don't
into
know
the main
if
event
he wins
scene.
this and gets the title and has a run, but maybe till
I'm here
WrestleMania and
either
then they give
way.
it to Punk. But
Yeah.
I really do think Punk's getting that title.
Oh, definitely.
Sooner than later.
Someone's going to be
So,
warming it up for him.
Yeah, so Gunther, I would think you wait a year or so and then you give him a big run.
You know what
I mean?
He
But,
needs a big run for sure.
There's no room for him to have a big run right now. There
No,
really isn't.
no,
There's
not
too
with
many
all-
people that need the
I
run
know.
now.
I
you
know.
So,
'Cause time's a ticking.
yeah,
For Gunther,
him
time
and
is
Jey
not
Uso
ticking.
are going to both have to take a back seat a little bit. 'cause,
Little bit.
LA Knight needs one.
Sure does.
CM Punk needs one.
Sure
I mean,
does.
Rollins, we all want more Rollins.
Oh my
so
God!
it's
Yeah,
like, how do you even
his
figure it
inaugural title reign was one of the greatest I've ever seen.
Yeah, and speaking of title reigns, Cody Rhodes versus
Ooh.
Logan Paul's next. This is only for Cody's title, which is kind of lame, Logan.
Logan
Yeah,
Paul
if you're
changed the
listening, you're
contract.
lame, bro. But yeah,
Still love you though.
Cody ends up having to hit a double crossroad for the 1, 2, 3, gets the win. And they don't celebrate with Prime afterwards.
No, they do not.
But he gets the win.
Yeah.
The fans are elated, and it seems to be the train of Cody Rhodes is rolling on into Double or Nothing.
It really is. Yeah, Cody
We're doing-
rides off into the
We're
sunset.
doing Double or Nothing next.
yes.
5/26.
Speaking of Double or Nothing, it was this past weekend. It was phenomenal, and it did have its struggling points as
It was
well.
a long one, folks.
It was. So strap in. I'm going to get you guys through it as fast as we can. This is the Source Wrestling Podcast. It's AEW Double or Nothing with Joe and Mike. Yeah. To open up the show, we had international champion Roderick Strong from the Undisputed Kingdom versus the aerial assassin, the undefeated Will Ospreay, and hell of a match here. Hats off to both of them. Roderick Strong, you had a great championship run. It has now been broken by the Hidden Blade into the Stormbreaker for a new
And it
international
just goes
champion.
down to show you that Will Ospreay is not losing. He's
No.
not going to lose. They're not going to have him lose. They're
He
going to keep
is
him happy.
on
And the
a
only way
run.
he's going to be happy is if he wins, really.
Right. I mean, who could honestly beat him at this point? The way he does things.
Yeah, but
you know?
I feel you.
That's a whole nother topic.
Next,
for
we
another
have
time.
Something that we've
Oh
been
my God,
anticipating for
finally.
weeks and weeks and weeks in the show. We've been
Finally.
talking about it so long. Joe?
All right, so we get Adam Cole. He's getting a decent reaction. He comes out randomly, unannounced, and he's out there yapping. And then we get this package. We get, he's got the devil mask too. We have to note that. We get this package where it's like a first-person view walking through a house, and then they walk into this room full of MJF stuff. The dog collar match from the dog collar from the dog collar match that MJF had with CM Punk. There was also the Double or Nothing coin chips, the Dynamite diamond rings, the whole suit with the Burberry scarf, and then it's it's obvious at this point. It's obvious at this point who's coming. It's MJF. He's back. He comes out to a massive, massive, massive ovation, looking like Triple H from 2002 after the quad tear, guys. And the place is going nuts. MJF just stares Cole down, and he makes him think that he's forgiving him, gives him a hug, and then a quick low blow into a brain buster, and then the place goes nuts. MJF cuts an amazing promo. Upon his return, saying that nobody's safe, there's going to be no more friends. He says, Mike, there's going to be no more kangaroo kicks, and that kind of bummed me out because I missed the kangaroo kick.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, because I think if he throws those arms up, people are going to pop like crazy. But anywho, he's basically saying no more bullshit. We're back to MJF, and he's saying he's not leaving. He is back. He shows off a new tattoo that says bet on yourself with an AEW Double or Nothing coin chip saying, and I quote, I'm not fucking leaving. So... Ladies and gentlemen, he says he does not need a New Japan. He says he does not need a Vince McMahon.
Yes, he does.
He says MJF made MJF, and he's back. He's not going anywhere. Nobody's safe, guys.
Which is interesting because Vince McMahon isn't even in this.
I know,
anymore,
but he had to, it's AEW. They have to name drop WWE at every opportunity they get, brothers. Up next, though, we're glad MJF's back. We've been covering the news every week, and he's back now. So we can cover it even more.
We're on the edge of our seats.
Yes. Up next, though, guys, we had the Bang Bang Gang versus the Death Triangle for the AEW World Trios Championships. It's the Bang Bang Gang winning this match. Switchblade Jay White hits the Blade Runner for the 1-2-3 pinfall. And still, World Trios Champions, the Bang Bang Gang. Up next, it is Timeless Tony Storm versus Serena Deeb for the AEW Women's World Championship. Match well fought by Serena Deeb, but history repeats itself. It's Timeless Tony Storm finding a way to win again with the Storm Zero to finish her off, and still AEW Women's World Champion Timeless Tony Storm. Up next, we have freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy versus Trent. Orange picks up the victory here with a small package. It was not easy for him. Trent looked very embarrassed after this match, after everything he said about he was going to win the match. He was going to, take Orange Cassidy to school, so to say. Did not do that. Up next, it is the FTW Championship. It is Chris Jericho, who is the current champion, the Learning Tree, versus Hook versus Katsuyori Shibata, with Jericho winning due to interference by the bounty hunter. He hired the bounty hunter, Brian Keith.
Trying to punch him in, trying to really,
he's trying to bring him into the Learning Tree now, but he hired him to do a job. He collected his bounty, and Jericho wins with the interference, hits the Judas effect, and he's still the FTW champion. Up next is an eliminator match for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. It is champion Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita. And
Mox with the crowd.
Absolutely. If Takeshita won this match, he would have got a future shot at this title. He does not do that. He does come close.
Which is crazy because Moxley's literally falling apart the entire
everything.
match.
I know.
It's kind of like,
and still winning everything.
Takeshita is going to go ahead and have a all-star match against Ospreay, and then all of a sudden he's going to lose to a half Moxley. Does that mean Moxley would beat up Ospreay?
Yes, right. So what are we saying here?
Means
Moxley wins with the Death Rider. Gets the victory, and now Takeshita is out of the IWGP title picture. Up next is a match that we really have to talk about. It is TNT Championship match, champion Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black, and we had a really big mistake in this match. Copeland, at his age, 50, should not have climbed the barbed wire steel cage and attempted a dive off of it onto Malachi Black through a table, who was wrapped in barbed wire. It was just too dangerous. Copeland, obviously had second thoughts, and he hesitated, and he pulled what's being called the flying nothing off of the top of the cage and basically landed on both of his feet first. Suffered a broken tibia. Did finish the match. The match did not need that. It had a surprise return from Gangrel.
Yes, it did.
From underneath the ring, crawls
with the
through
music and everything, with the Brood music.
They really did a great job.
Dun, dun, dun.
And the thing is here, he comes out, he hits a bunch of Impaler DDTs, he's looking great. Adam Copeland finds a way to win with, the assist from Gangrel, because he did come out to Slayer, and it was Copeland came out to Slayer, and he had a whole Brood package to go with it. So your champion still at this time was Adam Copeland, but after suffering the injury, he will have to relinquish that title. We will talk about that a little bit later on Dynamite.
Sad news, ladies and gentlemen.
There is no timetable on this injury.
It's what you get for being old and not putting people over.
Yep, and in WWE, no one would have ever let him do that spot.
Christian Cage was like, damn, I better freaking lose
Oh
this
my
next
God,
match.
no. Man, it was rough. Adam Copeland, I love you, man, but you did not have to do that. You've already proved everything
Or
you
you could
need
have
to
just
prove.
went through the table. You
Yeah,
just
the
done
thing
it
is,
right.
it was just
I mean?
he was wrapped in barbed wire. I think he was afraid to get pierced
why
by
even
it.
go up there?
Why, exactly. That's my whole point. Why even go up there and do this spot? It would have been better if it was just a table,
Like, you want to be on Meet Big and Bad and wrap them up in barbed wire, and you're obviously fully know that as you're thinking it's going to be so extreme, and you're climbing up the cage,
And
knowing
then
what
you're
you
like,
just
oh, wow.
did to him, leaving him there, and then you change your mind.
Yep. And,
Like, be sure of yourself, Adam
just
Copeland. I don't know
looked
if you're
like-
getting too old or something, but come on.
It just looked like he second guessed it, hesitated, and then obviously
that.
he hit the flying nothing, which he barely got his elbow onto Malachi, put him through the table. We hope that Adam Copeland is able to step in the ring again. There is no timetable on this. Now it is the TBS Championship. It is champion Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné, her AEW in-ring debut, and she did not disappoint to me. She had a great match with Willow, and Willow puts her over. She wins. Mercedes wins the TBS title with the Money Maker. Your new champion, Mercedes Moné, and now that brings us to another part of the triple main event here at Double or Nothing. It is world heavyweight champion Swerve Strickland versus Christian Cage. This was a good one, man. It was a battle. The patriarchy had to get involved, and Swerve once again finds a way in this new era for him in this World Heavyweight Championship run. He hits the house call, hits the Swerve stomp, gets it done. And still, whose house? Swerve's house. But now, guys, we have the main event. It is the Anarchy in the Arena match. The new Elite versus Team AEW. It is the Young Bucks. It is the Rainmaker, Okada. It is the Scapegoat, Jack Perry, versus Team AEW, Bryan Danielson, FTR, and Darby Allin, who made his surprise return. This match was absolute chaos. We had songs playing as they're wrestling.
It really was. It was just the final countdown over and over again to the fact where they just begged them to cut it.
Because Matt Jackson was like, this song is costing me $200,000 every time it plays. Can we please just stop playing
You
the
just see
song?
them fight, doing spots all over the place.
All over the place. Yeah, this is
place.
Anarchy in the
It
Arena.
was a great match.
It was, yep, and they've done a few of these. I've liked them all so far. This was a really good one. You had Jack Perry running over Darby Allin with a Scapegoat minibus. Backstage, you had Darby Allin coming out with his flamethrower and setting Jack Perry on fire.
Yeah, it happened.
It did happen, and
I wonder if they were
somehow-
going to follow through with that flamethrower or just, wave it around for no reason.
Yeah, no, they actually did it. They did it right. Jack Perry didn't get hurt. You could see that he had that solution. He was covered in it as he walked out from backstage. It was all done pretty safely. I'm sure some stuff got singed, but all in all, it was a nicely done stunt. The Elite actually win this match. Jack Perry hits the Psycho knee on Bryan Danielson, his own finishing move, just to get that much more heat to get the win for the Elite. send Double or Nothing off into the sunset. A wild pay-per-view. We had the return of MJF. Say no more. Double or Nothing was the first event that AEW ever had, and that's why it made it so big. And, I think this was the 5th one now, and very successful, very enjoyable. That does it, guys. AEW Double or Nothing. We're moving on to Monday Night Raw. And it begins with the Judgment Day's lackey, J.D. McDonough, versus the monster of all monsters, Braun
It's weird that
Strowman.
he's the lackey and not Dominic, but he is.
I know. Dom kind of used to be the lackey. Now it's J.D. 100%.
The monster of all.
The monster
monsters.
of all monsters, not just any monster, all of them.
So
Braun
glad he's
Strowman.
back. And fighting
I know.
at a large capacity.
There was a chance that he could have never wrestled again. He had,
That would've made me sad.
serious neck injury. Yeah, it's great to see him back. He's looking great. He wins this match with the power slam, as you would want him to. Puts JD even deeper into his grave with the Judgment Day members. Up next, it was Ricochet versus Ilya Dragunov. These guys, it's the rematch. They had a match already. Dragunov got the best of them. They were going for that number 2, and it's ruined by just a wild, unhinged Braun
Yeah, he's
Breaker.
pissed about this King of the Ring. He's kind of
He
being
really
a girl
wanted to be
about
in
it.
that
He's
tournament.
Diva
Yeah.
a little bit.
He is being a little diva-esque
being
about
a
it.
baby, I should say.
So he's just destroying everybody. He ruins the match. Ricochet wins by disqualification. And Braun Breaker's warpath is totally just begun, I guess. After that, we had the AOP versus the Creed Brothers. The What a Rush for the win. It's a tribute to the Legion of Doom.
Yeah, they
the
kind of announced
Doomsday
it when it
device.
happened that,
Yes.
the manager, what's his name?
Paul Ellering.
Paul Ellery.
You know why?
Named it from the,
He managed the Legion of Doom.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So he's passing that move on, the Doomsday device, to the AOP. They get the win here with that. And up next, it's Kairi Sane of Damage Control versus Lyra Valkyria. Lyra bounces back with a win here. She did lose at Queen of the Ring, but she wins here tonight versus Kairi Sane with a crucifix pin. Up next, it is the GOAT, the greatest mask of all time, Rey Mysterio versus Carlito. Ray gets a little bit of vengeance here, hits the 619 for the victory. So Carlito is, maybe heading back to the Judgment Day to lick his teeth at this point.
I don't think he's gonna get into the Judgment Day. in this
I know.
ring.
Yeah, you can't go out there and lose. I mean, unless you're JD McDonough, because if you're JD, then
Well,
apparently,
JD's already in. So.
yeah, you can lose all you want.
I'm sure there'll be repercussions at some point there for him.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Bronson Reed up next, though, versus Otis.
Big man versus big man.
Yeah, right. But another match that Chad Gable just gets in the way and potentially ruins for Otis. And Reed hits the tsunami, wins this match. It's unfortunate that Otis is going through this if and when he decides to finally, he's had enough of Chad Gable. What's that going to look like? Mm-hmm. I say he needs to go back to heavy machinery Otis and, just go buck wild on him at some point.
I'd like that.
Yeah. Main event time now. It's a steel cage match. We were just talking amongst ourselves about how WWE has not had a steel cage match.
Yeah, we were just saying on the other show, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and either that or in a conversation between the two of us, we were saying, where's all the cage matches in WWE?
Yeah.
We get a cage match for the WWE.
Almost like clockwork.
I know. World Women's Championship, and this did not go well.
Rematch.
Yes, this did not go well for the champion, for the man. Dominic comes out, and now again, and we know what happened last time, so he's really being extra careful here. He comes out, and he's trying to open the cage, and he's inviting Becky out. Come on, so she can keep the title. Liv Morgan don't get it. Mommy's happy, Dom's happy. Doesn't go that way. He ends up slamming the door on Becky Lynch herself. Liv hits the Oblivion and steals the title. Liv Morgan Revenge Tour has been validated now with a championship title. Liv is the champion. We are here for it. Mommy's gonna be pissed, dude.
Yeah, because after this, as we're fading out, Liv aggressively kissing Dominic in the aisle.
Yes.
Dominic looks scared for
that
his
happens
life.
off air.
Halfway enjoying, halfway scared
Oh my
for his
God.
life. Look on
how
his
could
face.
he? Yeah, how could he not enjoy that moment? But he's going to have a Rhea Ripley, a returning Rhea Ripley, hungry for her championship to answer to.
That's facts.
That was Monday Night Raw. Pretty exciting, guys, not going to lie. You're listening to the Source Wrestling Podcast. Mike, what do we got up next?
Next up, we have NXT. Now, this one started off with Mishin, who's now a regular in NXT, it seems, versus Tatum Paxley.
Got to have some solid talent down there.
Mishin with the Eat Defeat for the win on that one.
Yes.
Next up, Ridge Holland now against Riley Osborne, who I thought he was cool with, but maybe this is a gentleman's match. I'm not sure.
Could be.
Ridge with the Redeemer for the win. Next up, we have the Good Brothers versus Malik Blade and Idris and Nafi, they've been entertaining for us. You know,
I just love me some Good Brothers, though, man.
Good Brothers with the Magic Killer per usual.
Every
for the
time.
1, 2, 3.
Every time.
Lola Vice, who you know is getting pumped and pumped. She ain't gonna lose no match versus Ariana Grace. Lola Vice via the 305
Gets
for the
it
win.
done.
Next up, we have our boy Lexus King versus Dante Chen. He gets beaten again.
He's going through a slump
via
right now. It's
pinfall,
okay.
yeah.
All kings go through their slumps.
I guess so.
Lexus King, you're going to be fine,
It's
dude.
weird, yeah.
Just, got to hit that coronation for the win next time. That's
I'm
all.
surprised they're not fitting him into a title sooner than
Yeah,
later.
honestly, I really see him as a
feel like
great
he
North
should be on
American
the-
champion
Yeah.
or the NXT champion as well. I think he can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kalani Jordan versus Ren Sinclair. Kalani Jordan with a split-legged moonsault for the 1, 2, 3. Pretty
Flashy.
impressive on this one. Trick Williams and Javon Evans
Whoop that
versus
Trick.
Gallus, the returning Gallus.
They're
who
so
I'm
cool.
stoked about as well.
Yes.
What a great match. But Trick Williams wins with the trick shot.
As he should.
For that 1, 2, 3, keeping himself as the top guy in
Yeah,
NXT
he's the top
overall, winning and having the championship and doing tag matches. He's killing it.
Yeah, man.
It's important to note that after this match, Ethan Page from AEW
Shocker.
came out.
That
Now
was
signed
awesome.
with WWE and in
Yes.
NXT.
He's
Looks
going to
like
have an
gonna
NXT run.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to have a little feud with Trickster. Held up his title
Absolutely.
in front of him and whatnot.
Yeah.
Sexy Red was on the show, and she looks like she's kind of thinking about wrestling herself.
Yeah, dude. She was
Seeing a lot
really
about
into it.
Yeah.
She was really into it. And can we just say that Shawn Michaels is cooking right now?
Well, he's cooking because he also had Jordan Grace come out.
The
and
TNA
challenge-
Knockouts champion.
Yeah, challenge Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's title. So it looks like that's going down as well.
That is so
What
cool.
an action-packed NXT. NXT is really pulling out all the stops, and I'm really happy
really are.
to see it because the developmental system for NXT has never been hotter, really.
No, it really hasn't. You have top-tier talent in a developmental setting, with all the right people around them to just, elevate that. And I love the whole Forbidden Door being opened. We now have WWE working with TNA to bring in the women's knockout, the knockout women's champion to an episode of NXT to try to fight, an NXT talent. It's awesome. Jordan Grace, they've used her before. We saw her in the Rumble. And they're saying there's going to be more of this to come. So Triple H has taken the Forbidden Door off the hinges. And Shawn Michaels as well. So shout out to those guys. NXT was lit.
Yeehaw.
Up next, though, guys, we have AEW Dynamite. Just this past Wednesday, it is we're off the rails now of Double or Nothing, and we're back. We're kind of trying to settle down. We're wondering if MJF's going to come out, and speak to us about this return. But it starts off with Kill Switch because Christian Cage is not happy that he did not win the title, so he sends his monster after Swerve Strickland. It's Kill Switch versus Swerve. Swerve finds a way once again to get it done with the house call for the victory. Up next, it is Jon Moxley again versus Rocky Romero. Moxley wins here with the Death Rider. So once again, Moxley is not losing anything. Nothing at all. They're going to keep him in the winning light. Next, it is a AEW TBS Championship match. It is Mercedes Moné in her first title defense. It's her Dynamite debut as well versus a very good women's talent, in my opinion, Sky Blue. Moné gets it done with the Money Maker to retain her title, and Sky Blue came this close to taking out the CEO, but it just did not happen for her. I could definitely see another match going down in the future. Next, it is the Casino Gauntlet, And what a match this was. It included superstars of the likes of Claudio Castagnoli, Hechicero, Switchblade Jay White. Leo Rush was a surprise entrance. Mystico as well was a surprise entrant from different companies. Also, we had freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy in this match. Pac, Shota Umino, which was a New Japan talent, and a surprise Will Ospreay, the AEW International Champion, as well, was in this Casino Gauntlet match. And the winner of the Casino Gauntlet match will go on to face Swerve Strickland for a championship opportunity at Forbidden Door. So, this match was grotesque. It was very gritty. It was not won easily, but it was won by the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay, the already AEW International Champion. Tony's Golden Goose.
He's never going to lose. He's never going to lose.
It's Tony Khan's Golden Goose, Will Ospreay, who we love.
He's not going to lose anything.
He's going to be the new belt collector.
That's why. Okay, let's open up the conversation.
Let's open it. We got time.
It's like, what do you do with MJF now that Ospreay? Because Ospreay is now the guy who should be in line for the biggest title, and the biggest title run.
I agree.
And
there's nobody wrestling matches like Will Ospreay is wrestling matches.
If you go back and forth with him and MJF, Ospreay wins.
Yeah, but the thing is,
you know what I mean?
But what if it's MJF to give Ospreay his first loss? Will Ospreay, all the credit in the world. Love him. Love watching him every week. But we must not forget that MJF is the longest reigning AEW heavyweight champion in history. And
who's the better wrestler, Joe?
It's going to be Will Ospreay.
Okay.
But his promos are nowhere near on the level of MJF.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it kind of balances it out. It's going to be very interesting.
According to AEW,
they
are all about the wrestling, not about the promos. So why does MJF's proming matter?
Yeah, right. Why does his mic skills matter if it's where the best wrestle? I mean, I'm tired of them shoving it down our throats every time anyone cuts a promo. It's AEW, and this is where the best wrestle. We get it. You have some of the best wrestlers in the world, but so does WWE, okay? Either way, though, good episode of Dynamite. I would say it is concerning what they're going to do with face versus face now. Will Ospreay versus Swerve. It's going to be a killer match. I guarantee it. But storyline-wise, face versus heel, that's not there.
Doesn't Ospreay have a title?
Ospreay is the brand new AEW International Champion.
So
he
what
just
the heck?
beat Roderick Strong. Why are you putting him? There are so many guys that could go against.
I don't know, man.
There are so many.
I think that he had some clauses in his contract, and they might. Honestly, if my MJF predictions are correct, they might be trying to put the title on him sooner than later, so that he can eventually lose it to MJF. You know what I mean? And take it. Maybe he's like, maybe it's something where Ospreay's like a big shot, and he's like, yeah. I'll wrestle you for a year and a half.
But I'm going to collect every title.
Yes, and then I want a year off.
Yep.
And then I want, you know what I mean? So
you got to think, too.
That year off could be MJF's year.
It could be.
You know what I mean?
You got to think Ospreay is traveling from the United Kingdom to TV every single time and back. Every single time. And that's multiple times a week. So, I would assume that, as being possibly the greatest wrestler in the world right now, putting on the greatest matches right now, he might have had some stipulations that where Tony Khan had to be like, okay, if I want this guy, this is what I have to give him, and he is now a champion. He has won his first championship, and now he's already chasing a second one. This kind of has Kenny Omega vibes.
I feel like Cody Rhodes could wrestle him.
Oh, I feel like he could. He absolutely could. If there's anybody that can wrestle him, though, we can get into this now. It's Ricochet. Because they have had what is possibly one of the greatest matches that I've ever seen together. They did it in New Japan, and Will Ospreay, it's known that he's been trying to reach out and get him over there. Ricochet's contract is expiring soon as well. And obviously in WWE, they're not showcasing him as he should be showcased. I think he would, in AEW...
They're not billing him correctly.
No, in AEW, he could have some of the greatest matches we've ever seen. We could get Ospreay, Ricochet, 2. For all the marbles for some gold, Ricochet was the Intercontinental Champion before the Ring General came through and became the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. But now I feel like they are doing Ricochet dirty. He might not be the best on the mic, but he has a video game-like moveset. The dude is so clean in the ring and obviously very safe as well. No one has been injured in all of his crazy moves. They're doing him dirty, putting him on WWE speed in 3-minute matches, having him win a pointless championship
that he can't even carry out on the regular channels.
And he can't carry it out. And I have found out why this is because X owns the rights to that championship. Ricochet came out and tweeted it because fans keep tweeting him, why aren't you bringing this title out with you? Mm-hmm. So X, formerly known as Twitter, owns the rights to this championship, and it has to be exclusively held on X for WWE speed shows. And that's why he's not taking it out with him. So
that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
I've never watched an episode of Speed, and
that's
I don't
free
plan
advertising
on it.
for Speed.
I know.
It makes no sense. What are they doing? X is just out of control with Elon Musk. I like him. I like Elon Musk, but that's crazy.
It is insane.
Literally. Like, okay, so he's going to be carrying a title on TV regularly.
Right.
And people are going to be saying, what is that title?
Because we don't see it.
And people are going to be saying, oh, you can watch him defend that title on X. That's literal advertising.
Yes. Literally. They're saying
hogwash.
They'd be saying it on the USA Network. They'd be saying it on, whatever show he's on.
Yeah, he's got to get out of there. They're doing him dirty.
They are doing
right
him
now.
dirty. I think you send him to AEW, him and Ospreay, and guys
No,
like
him
that.
and Asuka, both.
Oh, my God.
Send them both.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, not Judgment Day.
Damage Control is fine
thriving without her. They look better, more natural.
They started
They're
without
flowing
her
together.
as well.
Yeah.
It was just Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Kairi Sane. And that's how
Kairi Sane was in it?
Yes. Yeah,
really?
They brought her back for SummerSlam.
I thought that she was a new addition at that point. I didn't know she was originally.
She was there, and then they got Asuka in, and it's just like
she was stiff. And
she became cringe.
She's like a mom, like a 45-year-old
she
mom.
She does. It's the hair.
Yeah.
It's the face paint. She's just very
like a mom,
cringy.
like a soccer mom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like an Asian soccer mom.
Yep. And her mic skills are not helping.
Non-existent. I mean, they got to make a better effort to learn English. Honestly, they do. Because I mean, not always. Because Shinsuke Nakamura, I will say, he does it right.
He does. He does his promos in Japanese.
But she talks fast. You know what I mean? And
it's
hard to keep up with the subtitles. And
it's
rough. It's not. In the context a lot of what she's trying to say and stuff isn't really. What I'm
it's
trying to listen to.
It's not getting across. It's not getting over.
Yeah.
She hasn't. I feel like she hasn't gotten a good pop since she was NXT version of Asuka before the silly face paint.
Yeah, they're trying to keep her relevant. She's won some matches and stuff, but I'm interested to see what happens with Io Sky.
Definitely, because she did have some great matches as of late. They've really been showcasing her, and she's another one though. With her when she opens her mouth, it just goes right down the tubes. They all just have that weird voice, no offense guys, but it just doesn't work on TV, and they're yelling and screaming and no one's understanding what they're saying. And they, they need a mouthpiece. And that's why Dakota's there. I mean, Dakota can be that mouthpiece, but, obviously, definitely Damage Control is better off without Asuka right now.
What do you think about the women's champions? Where do you think they're going to go with that?
What do you mean, the women's tag team titles?
Is this just a novelty run that they're going to hand it off to a smaller team to put them over?
I mean,
or is this a run where they're trying to legitimize these championships?
That's exactly what I was just going to say.
If it's that, then who do they put them up against to really get the tag team titles going?
Right, and the women's division is very short of tag teams right now. You have Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, who just had their shot. They lost it. You have teams like Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. They lost their shots. They just made this new tag team of Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. I kind of feel like they have to make another one. Like, who else is out there?
That was always the plan?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, seeing Damage Control's run with those women's tag team championships and how it just the titles didn't seem to mean anything. I feel like now they have to start, putting some meaning behind the gold because, Bianca and Jade have already done it. I feel like they've already brought some legitimacy to these championships, and already I'm interested again. I'm invested in the women's tag team titles because Jade and Bianca are a tag team that just works so well.
Absolutely.
They play so well off of each other. Jade is great in the ring, so is Bianca. But they both have that power status, but they can still be like, be the girls in front of each other. You know what I mean? They have they seem like they have a really tight-knit relationship for Jade being there the amount of time she's been there.
I agree.
And who they could put against them, like I said, I don't know. They might have to make some new teams or bring up. Is there any women's tag teams in NXT right now, Mike? Like, who could they put up against these two behemoths?
I really am I think I'm really into the After Party.
Okay.
Caden Carter and Katana Chance.
Yeah.
They're a legitimate tag team.
They had a quick title
run, and it wasn't enough for me.
No, it wasn't.
More.
They both can go in the ring.
I would love to see... Liv Morgan's the champ right now, but I really liked her and Raquel Rodriguez together.
Shout out to Raquel, man. Hopefully she's doing well. She was always great. She really was.
You got Baszler and what's her name? Baszler and
Zoe Stark. I just mentioned them.
Are really becoming a tag team that I could see being a legitimate tag team.
Yeah, but they did did have a chance at the championships. Unfortunately, they came up short. Maybe they throw them out there as well.
I like the idea of pairing Io Sky with Kairi Sane for the tag championships, because I really do think what's her name, the other one,
Asuka?
No,
Dakota Kai.
Yes. I see her as the emerging singles competitor.
She 100% is. Always loved Dakota Kai.
Had a run. Kairi saying, "What do you do with her?" Give them back the tag titles.
Yes.
Put Dakota Kai back into the main event of the women's
Absolutely.
division. And see where it goes from there, maybe.
Yeah, 100%.
Or at least feud those two with Bianca and Jade. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Absolutely. And now that we've covered all we need to cover, we're going
putting a pin in it right there.
Absolutely. We're gonna just rattle off some WWE news, some things that I feel are important that things that we should talk about for a little bit here. We have this just came out today. Olympic gold medalist Gable Stevenson lands an NFL contract with the Buffalo Bills after being cut from the WWE. Wow. WWE grabbed this Olympic gold medalist, Gable Stevenson, thinking he was going to be the next big thing. They put him on TV saying, hey, he signed, he's going to be it. And then he did not have one match in WWE. So now, after the news of him being released, he's now been picked up by the Buffalo Bills on a rookie contract.
Wow.
To see what he can do there. And, wish him luck. It just didn't work out for wrestling. What did they think? He was going to be the next Kurt Angle?
Literally.
Or the next Chad Gable? Those guys,
maybe.
They just came on their own. Now we have some Vince McMahon news. And just when you thought he was in trouble, guys, he is in even more trouble. Vince McMahon is now officially under Department of Justice investigation for sex trafficking, all that stuff. That, all that horrific sex trafficking allegations against him won't have their day in court yet now, thanks to the Department of Justice. In a sealed filing today, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York presented material to the federal court of a probe they have opened into disgraced Vince McMahon and World Wrestling Entertainment and the WWE's ex-talent, head of talent relations, John Laurinaitis. So that can't be good.
No.
Just when you thought, Vince could maybe live the rest of his life and, be quiet about it, be out of the public eye, that doesn't happen. And
we don't need no Vince McMahon.
We don't need no New Japan. We don't need no Vince McMahon. And as well, we have to talk about a little bit.
It's funny that MJF slammed New Japan as a partner of AEW.
He always does.
Whatever.
He always does. He makes it very clear that he hates New Japan and he hates indie federations.
Could be him previewing his rivalry with Ospreay because he's a big New Japan guy.
He was from New Japan.
There you go. We connected it, folks.
There it is.
What we got? We got some this day in wrestling history, or what?
I got one more thing I want to talk about before we get there. There was a QR code on SmackDown that we didn't mention during the coverage.
Yes.
Because it wasn't like a huge thing, but there was a QR code that would happened to lead to a My Faction card. In the WWE 2K.
I got it. You got it.
Absolutely. We both got it. It is...
Damn right.
If you go on WWE 2K24 and you type in the locker code He Sees You 2K24, you will receive the Uncle Howdy special, the Amethyst Manager card.
It's a Raven, right?
It's that Raven that we've been seeing in the QR code videos.
Yeah.
And you can darken up your My Faction roster with that Amethyst Manager card.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was worth mentioning for sure. I grabbed it. I have it on a couple of My Faction lineup. We'll see how it does, you know. And before we leave tonight, though, guys, we are going to get into, just about what we get into at the end of every episode. Brothers, it is on this day in wrestling history. It is June 1st, 2024. Let us talk to you.
Yeah, on this day in wrestling history, we have our notable wrestling birthdays.
Oh, man. We are back.
L.A. Park Jr., born in 2000. You familiar?
Might be La Parka, son of La Parka. La Parka was great WCW talent, and could absolutely have been the son of La Parka.
We also have Sam Gradwell, 1991.
Okay.
I'm not sure on that one.
Same.
Velvet Sky.
Oh, nice.
1981.
TNA talent.
Yes.
Yeah, she was around a long time. She was great.
Yeah, James Storm, 1977.
Cowboy
the
James
Cowboy.
Storm. Yeah, another TNA talent.
Scoot
Absolutely.
Andrews, 1971.
Scoot, huh?
Yeah. You got Ian Rotten, 1970.
Not too familiar there.
We got Nick Big Bully Buzak, 1954.
Wow.
Heard the name, haven't really seen much from them.
Yeah, same here.
I know it's an older name.
Look at this next one.
Black
though.
Bart, 1948.
Black
One of the old WWF
Oh,
wrestlers.
yeah. Absolutely.
Sure.
And on this day in wrestling history, the year is 1996. The World Wrestling Peace Festival took place at the LA Sports Arena in Los Angeles, California. The event was promoted by Antonio Inoki and brought together matches and wrestlers from New Japan Pro, WCW, NWA, AAA, and CMLL. The main event saw Inoki team with NWA World Champion The Beast, Dan Severn, to defeat Fujiwara and Taktarov. Forgive my pronunciation. The semi-main event saw the Giant Paul White, the current WCW World Champion at the time, defeat Sting in a non-title match. The event was considered a failure at the box office with less than 6,000 people in attendance at the 17,000 cap arena. So that was a stinker.
Yeah. And on this day in wrestling history in 2010, none other than Wade Barrett is crowned the first winner of the NXT show when the brand was a quasi-reality show. David Otunga was the runner-up, and Justin Gabriel. No idea about them, but I do know that Wade Barrett did go on to become a household name in WWE and an awesome announcer, so that's
Absolutely.
great.
Yep, it worked out for him. He's a former King of the Ring as well.
Yeah, I
so
believe
he
it.
has that to flaunt.
I see him with that get-up on.
100%. And on this day in wrestling history, this is a good one. WWE One Night Stand took place at the San Diego Sports Arena in California. All the matches on the show had extreme stipulations, with Edge defeating The Undertaker in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. Where did that match go in history?
Edge.
You know, I hope he didn't jump off the top of a cage in that one. But this was also a long time ago. The win gave Edge the vacant WWE World Heavyweight title and forced The Undertaker to leave the WWE. In reality, Taker was just taking some time off to heal injuries, get surgeries. He then returned at SummerSlam a few months later. But also on this show, guys, Triple H retained the WWE Championship in a last man standing match victory over Randy Orton.
Ooh, the RKO, huh?
The RKO, bro.
Well, on this day in wrestling history in 2009, on an episode of Raw in Birmingham, Alabama, Kofi Kingston defeated MVP to win the WWE United States Championship.
And one of his Grand Slam championships. Yes, sir. He defeated Montel Vontavious Porter to win that title. And to end this one, guys, I got one more. On this day in wrestling history, the year is 2014. At the Allstate Arena in Rosemont, Illinois, played host to WWE Payback. The main event of this show was The Shield, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose, better known now as Jon Moxley, defeating Evolution Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista in an elimination rules match.
What an epic match.
Oh my God, yeah, dream match for sure. The Shield won without suffering a single elimination. So that speaks volumes.
They stick together.
Yeah, they did. Until the end, of course.
Exactly.
Especially with Seth and Roman.
Yes, as we
That's
wind
still
towards
going.
the end here, right?
Yes. This would be their last match of their initial run as a unit, as Seth Rollins turned on the rest of the group the following night. It was the chair shot heard around the world, which repeated itself at and was almost earned vengeance at WrestleMania from Roman Reigns, but not so much. That is on this day in wrestling history, guys. This has been episode 41 of The Source. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Please follow the show. It really helps. It takes 2 seconds. Just hit that follow button, man. We're not asking for much here. It's not like we're asking you for money. We're doing this for free. Also, rate the show. It's extremely important, and it just keeps us going, guys. We want to make sure that you guys are enjoying this as much as we are.
Yeah,
the Source Wrestling Podcast is available on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. You can follow us on X, Instagram, TikTok, doesn't matter. We are there. Once again, this is The Source, WWE, AEW, All Things Wrestling Podcast with Joe
and Mike. Yeah.
We'll talk to you next time, losers.
Let us talk to you till we yeet again.
Until we eat again. That's the bottom line, because Joe and Mike said so.
That's a new one. I like it.
Right? That just came to me. Guys, I did not write that down.
That's the bottom line, because Joe and Mike said so.
See you later.
Yeah.